Have you ever started something with fire in your heart, only to feel that flame slowly fading away? You began with excitement, with dreams so bright they could light up the sky, but somewhere along the way, distraction crept in. You lost sight of what you were chasing. You stopped believing in what you once prayed for. Listen to me. Don't lose focus, because the moment you lose focus, your vision becomes blurry. Your purpose becomes distant. Your energy scatters into 1,000 meaningless directions. You see, life will always try to pull your attention away from what truly matters. People will talk. Challenges will rise. Temptations will whisper. And right when you're about to step into your breakthrough, something will try to make you look away. But hear me, God didn't bring you this far just for you to get distracted halfway. You've come too far to stop now. You've cried too long to turn back. You've endured too much to walk away from your purpose. So today I came to remind you, fix your focus. Keep your eyes on the goal. Hold your heart steady. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your destiny grows. Distraction is the quiet thief that steals greatness from ordinary people. It doesn't come shouting your name or banging on your door. It comes softly, slipping into your mind through small moments of inattention. You sit down to work on your dream, and your phone lights up with a message. You tell yourself, just a minute, and that minute becomes an hour. You start your morning with energy and purpose, but someone's negative comment shakes your confidence. Distraction doesn't need to stop you completely. It just needs to shift your focus long enough for your purpose to lose its strength. Every successful person you admire has faced distractions that tried to derail their direction. Think of the student who dreams of graduating with honors, but keeps getting pulled into social media, parties, or procrastination. Think of the small business owner who begins with a bold vision, but loses momentum because the results don't come fast enough. The dream didn't die because it was impossible. It faded because focus was lost. The moment your attention drifts away from your purpose, your progress begins to slow down. That's how distraction works. It divides your energy until your fire becomes a flicker. You see, focus is not about working nonstop. It's about knowing what matters and guarding it with everything you have. Distraction can be as harmless as a friend calling you for a chat, or as heavy as fear whispering that you're not good enough. It can come through comparison when you see others succeeding and start doubting your own journey. You might say to yourself, they're ahead of me. And that single thought pulls your energy from growth into jealousy. But hear this, your path is not meant to look like anyone else's. The more you compare, the less you create. The more you get distracted by their success, the less time you spend building your own. Life will always throw noise at you. There will always be opinions, doubts, and temptations standing at the door of your mind. But you must become the gatekeeper. You must decide what enters and what doesn't. When you focus on what's important, your actions align with your purpose. When you protect your time and energy, your progress accelerates. You start to feel stronger, more centered, more in control of your journey. The distractions don't disappear, but they lose their power because your eyes are locked on the destination, not the detours. Imagine a driver on a long road. If that driver keeps turning around every time someone shouts their name, they'll never reach the end. That's what happens when you let distraction lead. You keep looking sideways, backward, everywhere except forward. But when you grip the wheel, eyes fixed on where you're going, no storm can push you off course. The same is true in life. The people who reach their dreams are not always the smartest or the fastest. They're the ones who refuse to look away from what they were called to do. Let me give you a simple, real example. Think of an athlete training for a championship. While others are sleeping, they're running laps. While others are wasting hours scrolling through screens, they're pushing through exhaustion. What makes them different? Focus. They understand that distraction delays victory. They've learned that every choice matters. What they eat, who they talk to, how they spend their hours. They've built a wall around their purpose, not to shut people out, but to protect their progress. That's what it takes to win, not talent alone, but relentless focus. The same principle applies to your life, your dreams, your purpose. You don't have to be the best. You just have to stay consistent. Every day you choose focus over distraction, you get closer to your goal. Every time you say no to something that wastes your time, you say yes to your growth. It's not easy. It never is. There will be days when you feel tired, bored, or tempted to quit. But those are the days that test your discipline. That's when you must remind yourself why you started. Because distraction is temporary, but the regret of losing focus lasts a lifetime. You might not control every challenge, but you can control where your attention goes. Focus is your superpower. It turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. It transforms confusion into clarity, hesitation into movement, and doubt into determination. When you give your full attention to something, when you truly lock in, there's no obstacle too great, no delay too long, no failure too final. You start to attract opportunities because your energy becomes magnetic. People feel your purpose. They sense your drive. The world begins to move with you, not against you. Remember, the enemy of your destiny is not failure, it's distraction. Failure can teach you. Distraction makes you forget what you were even fighting for. Guard your mind from the noise that tries to dim your focus. Every time your attention drifts, bring it back. Refocus, realign, restart if you must. But never allow small things to pull you away from the big picture. You are too close to your breakthrough to get lost in the background noise. So the next time life throws distractions your way, stand firm. Tell yourself, I will not be moved. I know where I'm going, I know who I am. I know what I'm building. Keep your eyes on the vision, your hands steady on the work, and your heart anchored in purpose. Because when you stay focused, truly focused, no storm, no setback, no distraction can stop what's meant for you. The power is already inside you. You just have to stop looking everywhere else and use it. When the weight of the world presses on your shoulders and the fire inside you starts to dim, remember the reason you began. Go back to the moment when your heart first caught that spark, the moment when you dreamed of something greater, something beyond where you were. That deep reason inside your soul is what will carry you through the storms that life throws at you. Staying rooted in why you started is not just about memory. It's about maintaining the connection to your purpose when everything around you tries to make you forget. Every journey begins with excitement. You make a plan, you set a goal, and in the beginning, it feels like nothing can stop you. But as time passes, the road gets rougher, the obstacles grow heavier, and your energy starts to fade. It's easy to feel like giving up when progress seems invisible. You start to question if your effort is even worth it. You wonder if you should take the easy way out, or maybe start something new. But that's the moment you must stop and ask yourself, why did I begin? What made me believe in this dream in the first place? Think of a student working late nights, exhausted from studying, eyes heavy with fatigue. There's no applause, no recognition, just silence and stress. It's tempting to quit. But if that student remembers their why, the vision of wearing that graduation cap, the dream of making their family proud, that reason becomes fuel. Suddenly, every late night feels purposeful again. It's not just studying anymore. It's survival, it's destiny, it's growth. That is the power of remembering why you started. It reignites your inner fire. Your why is your anchor when life tries to shake your boat. It keeps you steady when waves of doubt crash over you. Without it, you drift aimlessly, tossed by every challenge that comes your way. But when you hold on to your purpose, you find balance even in chaos. You stop being reactive to circumstances and start being guided by conviction. Take an example from everyday life. A small business owner opens a shop with dreams of freedom and impact. At first, everything feels exciting: new customers, new opportunities, new beginnings. But soon, challenges appear. Bills pile up, profits shrink, and exhaustion takes over. Many quit at this point, believing the dream was too hard. The few who endure, the ones who remember their why, keep pushing. They remember why they started, maybe to build a better life for their children, or to prove that their idea could work. That purpose keeps them going when motivation disappears. Eventually, those same small, consistent efforts turn into success stories. because they had everything figured out, because they stayed rooted in why they started. The truth is, feelings fade, motivation comes and goes. But purpose, real purpose, never dies. It just waits for you to return it. Every time you doubt yourself, go back to that original spark. Close your eyes and see the person you were when you first believed. The one who dared to dream even when others doubted. The one who had nothing but hope. That version of you still lives inside. You just have to reconnect with them. In a world full of distractions and quick fixes, staying rooted in your why separates the dreamers from the doers. Everyone starts strong, but only those who remember why they began have the strength to finish. You see, the road to success is not straight. It's full of turns, setbacks, and pauses. But every challenge has a hidden question inside it. Do you still remember your reason? Because when you lose sight of your why, you start chasing approval instead of purpose. You begin to move out of pressure instead of passion. Think about someone who decides to transform their health. The first few days of exercise are exciting. They feel powerful, hopeful, unstoppable. But then the soreness sets in. The scale doesn't move. The mirror shows no change. That's when doubt whispers, why bother? Yet, if that person remembers why they started, to feel stronger, to live longer, to become confident again, suddenly the pain becomes part of the plan, not the problem. The focus shifts from instant results to lasting change. Every great story in life is written by someone who refused to forget their beginning. Because beginnings carry meaning, they carry fire. When you return to your why, you remind yourself that what you're doing isn't just a task, it's a mission. And missions aren't abandoned when things get hard. They're strengthened by struggle. It's easy to stay focused when everything goes right, but your true strength shows when things go wrong, when the applause fades, when no one's watching. When you're standing alone with your thoughts, that's when your why speaks loudest. It whispers, keep going. You're not done yet. It reminds you that progress doesn't always show immediately, but growth is still happening beneath the surface. Just like a seed buried in the ground, no one sees its struggle, but soon it becomes something beautiful. So if you ever find yourself tired, confused, or close to giving up, pause, take a deep breath, go back to your reason, write it down, speak it out loud, remind yourself why you started this journey. Because the moment you reconnect with your why, clarity returns, strength returns, hope returns. You begin to move again, not out of fear, but out of purpose. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need your reason to be strong. When your reason is powerful enough, your mind will find a way. Obstacles will shrink, paths will appear, and what once felt impossible will start to unfold before you. So stay rooted, stay grounded, keep your heart close to your purpose, because your why is not just your beginning, it's your fuel, your compass, and your victory. When you know why you started, you'll always find the strength to finish. There are moments in life when everything around you feels uncertain, when you can't see the road ahead, when nothing makes sense, and it feels like you're walking in circles. You start questioning everything, your decisions, your direction, even your worth. But in those very moments, you must remember this truth: God gives you vision, not confusion. The path may not always be clear, but the purpose never changes. The fog may cover your steps, but it cannot erase your destination. Confusion is a tool life uses to test your focus. It asks, will you still trust what you saw when you first began, even when you can't see it now? Because vision is not about what you see with your eyes. It's about what you hold in your heart. The eyes can lie to you. They show you obstacles, not outcomes. But the heart, when guided by faith and purpose, always knows where it's going. Think about a person climbing a mountain in the early morning fog. They can't see the top. They can barely see a few feet ahead, but they keep moving because they trust the path beneath their feet. They know that even if they can't see the summit, it's still there. That's what vision is. It's walking by belief, not by sight. It's moving forward when logic says stop. It's trusting that the same God who gave you the dream will also give you the direction. When confusion comes, it doesn't mean you've lost your way. Sometimes it means you're growing into a new version of yourself, one that can handle what's coming next. Growth never feels clear. It always feels uncomfortable. You might not understand why something ended, why a plan failed, or why doors closed. But sometimes those very moments are saving you from paths not meant for you. Confusion can be protection in disguise. The delay you're frustrated about might be the very thing that's aligning your timing with your destiny. Think of an artist painting a masterpiece. Up close, the strokes might look random, even messy, but step back and you'll see how every color, every line, fits perfectly into the final image. That's how vision works. When you're in the middle of the process, you can't see how it all connects. It feels chaotic. But when the time is right, the bigger picture reveals itself, and suddenly everything makes sense. The heartbreaks, the failures, the waiting. It all had purpose. You just had to stay focused long enough to see it unfold. In daily life, confusion often visits when you're closest to clarity. Right before breakthroughs, distractions grow louder. Right before promotion, problems multiply. It's like the world starts testing your commitment. You'll hear voices saying, "It's not working," or "You're wasting your time." But when those voices rise, silence them with your vision. Remind yourself, I may not see the whole path, but I know who's guiding me. When you hold onto your vision, you begin to move differently. You stop chasing validation from others because you understand that not everyone can see what you see. People may doubt you, laugh at you, or call you unrealistic. But that's because your vision wasn't meant for them. It was planted in you. Some won't understand your path because they weren't assigned your purpose. That's why it's so important not to let confusion born from other people's opinions cloud your clarity. Let's look at an example we all can relate to. Imagine a young woman working hard on her small dream, a business, a career, a creative project. She faces delays, rejection, and self-doubt. Friends tell her to give up. She begins to wonder if maybe they're right. But one night, she sits in silence and remembers how it all began, the dream that made her heart race, the excitement that felt like fire in her soul. She realizes that even though she doesn't have all the answers, the vision hasn't left her. That's when she finds her strength again. She gets up, refocuses, and keeps going. Months later, she sees success blooming from the same ground she once cried over. Confusion tried to stop her, but her vision wouldn't let it. That's how life works. Confusion tests you, vision transforms you. You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you see it. When you look through the lens of fear, everything appears uncertain. But when you look through the lens of faith, even the chaos starts to make sense. Every challenge becomes part of your training. Every delay becomes part of your design. You may not always get a clear sign from the heavens saying, "This is the way." Sometimes God's direction is quiet. It comes through intuition, through peace that doesn't make sense, through a feeling deep inside that says, keep going. When you follow that feeling, even without perfect clarity, you begin to realize that you're not walking alone. There's guidance working for you that you can't always see, but you can always trust. So the next time confusion tries to overwhelm you, stop chasing answers for a moment. Sit still. Breathe. Remember that vision is not about control, it's about trust. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step. The fog will lift when the time is right. Don't let temporary uncertainty make you abandon permanent purpose. Your vision was given to you for a reason. It's not random. It's not accidental. It's divine direction, crafted uniquely for your journey. Hold on to it even when things don't add up, because confusion fades, but vision endures. The light might dim, but it never disappears. And when you keep your eyes fixed on the purpose placed inside you, one day you'll look back and realize that what once felt like confusion was actually the map leading you exactly where you were meant to be. Your mind is the battlefield where your future is decided. Every dream you chase, every goal you set, every decision you make begins there. The quality of your focus depends entirely on what you allow to live in your thoughts. If your mind is scattered, your direction will be too. If your mind is clear, your life becomes powerful and purposeful. That's why you must guard your mind and guard your focus, because the world will constantly try to fill it with noise, fear, doubt, and distraction. We live in a world that feeds on attention. Everywhere you look, something is fighting for your focus. Your phone buzzing, people talking, opinions flooding your mind. Every notification, every negative word, every small comparison chips away at your mental peace. You may think these things don't affect you, but slowly they do. They drain your energy, scatter your attention, and weaken your determination. That's why protecting your mind is not optional, it's essential. Your dreams cannot grow in a polluted mind. Imagine a farmer who wants a strong harvest. He doesn't just throw seeds anywhere. He prepares the soil, removes the weeds, and makes sure the ground is healthy. Your mind is that soil. Your thoughts are the seeds. If you let toxic thoughts grow, fear, jealousy, self-doubt, they'll choke the growth of your purpose. But if you plant positivity, focus, and self-belief, your life will bear fruit. What you feed your mind eventually feeds your actions. Think about how much energy you lose every time you allow negativity to take root. One bad comment from someone, and you replay it 100 times. One failure, and you let it define your worth. One delay, and you start questioning your direction. But here's the truth. What lives in your mind will manifest in your life. If you fill your head with defeat, you will start to walk like someone who's already lost. But if you fill your mind with strength, you'll rise even when you fall. Take a moment and think about your daily routine. The first thing most people do when they wake up is grab their phone. Before their feet even touch the ground, they've seen 10 headlines, 5 opinions, and endless reminders of what they don't have. And then they wonder why they feel drained before the day even begins. Protecting your focus starts the moment you open your eyes. How you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of drowning your mind in noise, start with silence, gratitude, or a simple moment of stillness. Remind yourself that peace is not something you find, it's something you create. Here's a powerful truth. You can't control everything that enters your mind, but you can control what stays there. Thoughts will come and go like visitors. Some bring inspiration, others bring destruction. It's your responsibility to decide which ones get to stay. You can't build a focused life while entertaining thoughts that drain your confidence. You can't create a peaceful mind while feeding it with chaos. Guarding your mind means being selective about what you read, what you watch, who you listen to, and who you spend time with. Look around your circle. Are you surrounded by people who sharpen your focus or steal it? Energy is contagious. If you constantly sit with those who complain, doubt, and gossip, that energy will seep into you. But if you walk with people who believe, dream, and act, you'll feel inspired to keep moving forward. Protecting your mind is not about arrogance, it's about awareness. You have to know what builds you and what breaks you, then choose accordingly. Think of an athlete before a big game. They don't waste time scrolling through negativity or listen to doubt. They protect their focus. They guard their mind fiercely because they know one moment of distraction could cost them everything they've worked for. You might not be on a sports field, but your life is your arena. Every day is your game. And if you allow distractions and negativity to live rent-free in your head, you'll lose energy that could have fueled your progress. Here's the beauty of focus. When you protect it, your clarity increases. You start to see what truly matters. You stop reacting to every little thing and start responding with intention. You realize that not every battle deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your energy. Not every noise deserves your reply. When your mind is calm, your decisions become wiser. You stop chasing validation and start pursuing purpose. Think of your focus like a beam of light. When it's scattered, it barely illuminates anything. But when it's concentrated, it cuts through darkness. That's what a focused mind does. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. People who achieve great things aren't necessarily more talented. They're simply more focused. They've learned to say no to distractions, to negativity, to self-doubt, so they can say yes to their dreams. Guarding your mind is an everyday discipline. It means catching yourself when your thoughts drift into fear or negativity and gently bring them back to faith and clarity. It means not allowing every worry to control you. It means reminding yourself that peace is more valuable than popularity and clarity is stronger than chaos. There will always be noise in the world, but you can choose silence within yourself. There will always be people who doubt you, but you can choose to keep believing. There will always be distractions trying to pull you off your path, but you can choose to keep walking straight. Your mind is your temple, your engine, your power source. Guard it like it's sacred, because it is. When you master your mind, you master your life. When you control your focus, you control your future. So protect your peace, filter your thoughts, and never let anything or anyone break your mental rhythm. Because the person who owns their mind owns their destiny, and no force on earth can stop a focused soul from reaching the top. There are moments in life when everything seems to stand still, when no matter how hard you try, things just don't move the way you want them to. You pray, you plan, you push, but it feels like the world is silent. You start questioning yourself. Did I make a mistake? Did I take the wrong path? Has life forgotten me? But here's what you must understand. Every delay is not a denial. Sometimes the waiting season is not punishment, it's preparation. The pause is not the end of your story, it's the shaping of your strength. We live in a world that worships speed. Everyone wants results now. Success now, answers now, breakthroughs now. But real growth, real transformation, real destiny, none of it happens overnight. The most powerful things in life take time. A seed doesn't become a tree in a day. The stars don't appear until the night falls. Even a diamond takes years of pressure before it shines. So when life slows down, it doesn't mean it's saying no. It might just be saying not yet. Sometimes the waiting period feels unbearable because we can't see what's happening behind the scenes. You look around and see others moving ahead, achieving more, living the dream you've been working for, and you start to wonder why your moment hasn't come. But what you don't see is that your journey has its own timing. You are being molded, tested, and refined. Life delays certain blessings, not to punish you, but to make sure you're ready for them. Because getting something too early can destroy what you're meant to enjoy. Think of a fruit that's picked before it's ripe. It might look good from the outside, but inside it's sour and unfinished. That's what happens when we rush our blessings. The delay isn't a denial. It's a divine way of saying, I'm still working on your flavor. Sometimes life needs to mature you before it can move you. Picture a student studying for a big exam. The pressure is heavy, the nights are long, and the reward feels far away. They might wish they could skip straight to success, but it's the studying, the process, that prepares them for victory. Without that season of learning, they wouldn't be ready for the challenges ahead. In the same way, every delay in your life is teaching you something that speed never could. Patience builds character. Waiting builds wisdom. Silence builds strength. There's a story happening inside every delay, a story of growth, discipline, and unseen progress. You may not notice it day by day, but each moment you stay faithful in the waiting, something powerful is forming inside you. It's like watching grass grow. It looks still, but it's alive beneath the surface. Your effort is not wasted. Your time is not lost. Your dream is not forgotten. Life is simply aligning the right people, the right timing, and the right opportunity to meet your preparation. Think about how an airplane takes off. Before it lifts into the sky, it spends time on the runway. It waits, it builds speed, it checks every system. To an impatient mind, that might look like delay, but in truth, it's safety. It's preparation for flight. If the plane tried to rise too early, it would crash. Likewise, your life needs that runway time. You need those quiet seasons to gain strength, experience, and resilience before you take off. Because when it's your time, you won't just rise, you'll soar. Sometimes, delay also teaches you humility. It reminds you that not everything is under your control. You can plan, you can work, you can give your best. But timing belongs to something greater. When you learn to trust the process, you find peace and patience. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You realize that your journey has its own rhythm, and rushing won't make it better. It'll only make it bitter. Think of a person waiting for a promotion at work. They've been loyal, hardworking, and hopeful, but each year passes and someone else gets chosen. Frustration sets in, disappointment grows, and they begin to question their worth. But what if that delay was preparing them for something greater? Maybe the experience they're gaining now is building the skills for a position beyond what they ever imagined. When that moment finally arrives, it doesn't just come as a promotion. It comes as proof that patience pays. In life, you must learn to trust the timing of your journey. The things that truly belong to you will never pass you by. The door that's meant for you will open when you're strong enough to walk through it. And when it opens, You'll understand why it took so long, because now you're ready. If it had come earlier, you wouldn't have appreciated it the same way. The delay gives you depth, perspective, and gratitude. It teaches you to value what you once took for granted. The waiting season might be silent, but silence doesn't mean absence. Sometimes God does his greatest work in the quiet, shaping your heart, pruning your ego, preparing your path. When nothing seems to be happening, something always is. The roots of your future are growing underground, unseen but unstoppable. So instead of fighting the delay, learn from it. Let it build your patience instead of your frustration. Let it deepen your focus instead of your doubt. When you embrace the waiting period, you shift from saying, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What is this teaching me?" And that mindset alone transforms the delay into destiny. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Every minute you spend waiting is part of the masterpiece being painted around your life. Don't let impatience make you walk away right before your breakthrough. Trust that your time is coming, and when it does, it will arrive with such clarity, power, and beauty that you'll look back and realize the delay wasn't wasted time. It was preparation for greatness. There will be days when the sun doesn't shine as bright, when the fire that once burned inside you feels like fading smoke. You'll wake up and feel tired before the day even begins. The same dream that once filled you with excitement will feel heavy on your shoulders. You'll question yourself, can I really do this? Do I still have it in me? And that's when you must remember this truth. Focus isn't built on feelings, it's built on commitment. You don't have to feel motivated every day. You just have to keep moving, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is temporary. It's like a spark. It ignites quickly but burns out fast. Commitment, though, it's the steady flame that survives through the winds, the storms, and the darkness. Motivation gets you started, but commitment keeps you going. The people who reach their dreams are not always the ones who felt inspired every single day. They're the ones who moved forward even when they didn't. Think about a runner training for a marathon. On the first few days, they're full of energy. Their vision is strong, their enthusiasm high. But after a week, when the body aches and the excitement fades, it's no longer motivation that carries them, it's discipline. It's that inner voice that says, you made a promise to yourself and you will keep it. That's the same voice you must listen to when life tests you, when your dream feels distant, when you feel too tired to keep pushing. Success doesn't come to the one who moves when it's easy. It comes to the one who moves when it's hard. Anyone can stay focused when everything is working, but real strength shows when you keep going through the silence, through the failures, through the moments when no one's cheering for you. That's when your commitment defines you. In everyday life, you'll meet people who say, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll work hard when the timing is right. But here's the truth, the perfect time will never come. If you wait to feel ready, you'll spend your whole life waiting. Progress begins the moment you decide that excuses will no longer lead you. You move forward not because it's easy, but because you know deep down that your purpose is worth it. Let's take a simple example. Imagine a single mother working 2 jobs, trying to build a better life for her children. She's exhausted, overworked, and stretched thin. There are days when she wants to give up, when sleep seems like a luxury and hope feels distant. But she doesn't stop. She keeps moving, not because it's easy, but because her reason is stronger than her tiredness. That's what commitment looks like. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. There will always be days when your emotions try to talk you out of your destiny. When you're tired, your mind says rest. When you fail, your fear says quit. But your purpose will whisper, keep going. That whisper is quiet but powerful. It's the voice of faith, reminding you that everything great takes time, and every strong person was once tired but didn't stop. The truth is, every step you take in tiredness carries more weight than 100 steps taken in excitement. It's easy to move when you're full of energy. It's powerful to move when you feel drained, because that's when you're training your spirit. That's when you're showing life that your will is stronger than your weakness. Every time you move forward, when you don't feel like it, you're building mental muscle, emotional resilience, and inner focus. Think about how many people start something with excitement, a workout, a goal, a dream, but stop halfway. Why? Because the feelings faded, the energy ran out. They thought passion would carry them forever, but passion without discipline is like a car without fuel. It looks powerful, but it won't move. You have to keep feeding your journey with consistency. Even a small step forward each day is progress. Even when it feels slow, it's still movement. Let's look at another example, a writer working on a book. At first, the ideas flow easily. Every sentence feels alive. But soon the creativity fades and self-doubt creeps in. They think, maybe I'm not good enough. The blank page becomes their biggest enemy. But if they keep writing, even when the words feel heavy and imperfect, something incredible happens. They push past the fog and inspiration returns. It's not the talented who finish their dreams, it's the determined. There's power in showing up every day, no matter how you feel. You may not see results immediately, but every act of effort plants a seed. Every seed takes time, but one day it blooms. You'll look back and realize that the hardest days, the ones when you almost quit, were the days that shaped your success the most. You have to train your mind to keep going, especially when your emotions disagree. Feelings are temporary, focus is eternal. Some days you'll wake up inspired. Other days, you'll wake up exhausted, but both days matter because both move you forward. Progress doesn't ask how you feel, it asks how badly you want it. You must build habits that don't depend on your mood. Create structure in your chaos. Remind yourself daily why you started. Write it down, repeat it, live it. Because when life gets hard, and it will, your routine will keep you standing when motivation fails. The most successful people aren't always the most talented, they're the most consistent. They show up when they're scared. They push through when they're tired. They do the work that others avoid, and over time, that consistency compounds into greatness. So when the day feels long and your heart feels heavy, don't give up. Rest if you must, but don't quit, because every time you move forward through the discomfort, you are proving something powerful, not to others, but to yourself. You are proving that your purpose is stronger than your pain. Keep moving even when you don't feel like it. Keep walking even if it's slow. Keep showing up even when no one claps for you. Because one day, all those small steps will become the giant leap you were waiting for. One day, you'll realize that every moment you kept going in silence was preparing you for your loudest victory. When you have a dream, a goal, or a calling in life, not everyone will see it the way you do. Some people will doubt it, others will criticize it, and a few might even try to talk you out of it. But remember this, the vision was given to you, not them. They weren't there when you felt that spark deep inside your heart. They didn't hear that quiet voice that told you, this is what you were meant to do. That's why you can't let anyone else's opinion cloud your focus. Protect your vision the way a flame protects its light from the wind. When you start moving toward your goal, people will have something to say. Some will laugh, some will question, and others will simply not understand. And that's okay, because vision isn't meant to be seen by everyone. It's revealed to the one who's ready to build it. If everyone could see it, it wouldn't be a vision. It would just be a plan. A vision belongs to those who can believe in the unseen, who can look beyond the present chaos and see future glory. Think about it this way. When a seed is buried in the ground, no one sees it. To the world, it looks dead and forgotten. But beneath the soil, it's alive. It's growing, stretching, preparing. That's what your vision is doing right now. Even if others can't see it, it's developing quietly beneath the surface. And one day, when the time is right, it will break through the soil for the world to witness. But for now, you must guard it, because people often destroy what they don't understand. Every great inventor, leader, or dreamer faced disbelief before success. Think of someone like a young entrepreneur who dreams of starting a business from scratch. People might call it impossible. They might say, you're wasting your time, or you don't have the resources. But if that person listens to the noise, the dream dies right there. However, if they protect the vision, if they hold it close and keep working silently, it will grow stronger, because focus flourishes in silence, not in argument. Sometimes Your vision is too big for small minds. You'll share your dreams with people who can't see beyond their own limitations, and they'll project their fears onto you. They'll say, be realistic, or don't aim too high. But what they really mean is, I couldn't do it, so neither can you. Don't accept their limits as your truth. Protect your dream from their doubt, because your focus will fade if you constantly feed it with negative voices. There's a story in everyday life that perfectly explains this. Picture a young artist who loves painting. She spends her nights creating art, even when no one buys it. Friends tell her to quit. Family says to find a real job, but she refuses to let their opinions define her path. She knows her purpose is to create beauty through color and emotion. One day, her work gets noticed. What people once mocked becomes what they admire. The difference wasn't talent. It was focus and protection. She didn't let their disbelief infect her belief. That's what you must do with your own vision. Guard it like treasure. Feed it with positivity, faith, and effort. Surround yourself with people who push you higher, not those who pull you down, because the environment you choose will either nurture your focus or destroy it. Protect your peace from those who speak fear, and protect your energy from those who bring chaos. Every distraction, every argument, every unnecessary opinion, each one chips away at your clarity. You must decide that your purpose is too precious to be placed in careless hands. Think of how many dreams have been lost because someone shared them too soon with the wrong people. They said, you can't do it. And instead of fighting harder, the dreamer gave up. But if you truly want to achieve something great, you have to understand that silence is power. Work quietly. Let your progress make the noise. Focus on building while others are busy talking. The moment you defend your vision to everyone, you give away your peace. You don't need to explain destiny to those who can't see it. Sometimes protecting your vision means walking alone. It means being misunderstood. It means having faith in what no one else believes in. But that's where real strength is born. Every path to greatness begins in isolation. Every destiny star starts with one person willing to believe when the world does not. Don't be afraid of walking alone for a while, because that's where you grow the most. Loneliness is not a punishment, it's a preparation. It teaches you to depend not on validation, but on purpose. And remember, vision doesn't shout, it whispers. It comes to you in quiet moments, in the stillness of your heart, reminding you of who you are and what you're meant to do. The world may try to drown it out with noise, opinions, and distractions, but you must learn to listen deeply. Protect that whisper. Guard it from doubt, because that whisper is your direction. When others can't see your dream, don't get angry. Don't waste energy convincing them. Just keep working. Every small action is proof of your belief. Every step forward is an act of faith. And one day, when the vision becomes reality, those who doubted will see what you saw all along. They'll realize that your focus wasn't foolish. It was divine. So protect your vision, protect your focus, protect your peace. Because the moment you let everyone's voice enter your mind, you lose the sound of your own. Stay faithful to your purpose, even when the road is quiet and lonely. Because if you keep believing in what you see within, one day you'll hold it in your hands. The vision was given to you for a reason. Don't let anyone else write your ending. No matter how focused, disciplined, or determined you are, life will test you. There will be moments when everything you plan falls apart, times when your best effort still isn't enough. You'll face delays, disappointments, and detours that make you question if your dream is even worth it. But here's the truth. Every setback is not a stop sign. It's a lesson in disguise. It's life's way of preparing you for something greater than what you imagined. The challenge is not there to break you. It's there to build you. When you lose focus because something didn't go as planned, remember this: the path to success is not a straight line. It's filled with bumps, turns, and moments that feel like failures. But every fall has a purpose. Sometimes you have to stumble to see where your feet truly belong. Sometimes doors have to close so the right one can open. The key is to rise again, stronger and wiser. Think of a person starting their dream business. They put in all their effort, their money, their time, and still it doesn't work out. The shop closes, the dream seems over. But if they stop there, the failure wins. If they look deeper, though, they realize that the experience taught them lessons no classroom ever could. How to lead, how to plan better, how to manage risk, how to persevere. The first attempt wasn't wasted, it was training. Because life doesn't promote you until you've passed the test. Every strong person you see today has a story of failure behind their success. They've been rejected, doubted, and misunderstood. The difference is they didn't let the setback define them. They used it to refine them. When life knocked them down, they didn't ask, "Why me?" They asked, "What is this teaching me?" And that shift in mindset changed everything. You see, sometimes your breakdown is the beginning of your breakthrough. The moments that hurt you the most are often the ones that shape your strength. You can't develop perseverance in comfort. You can't grow courage in calm waters. It's the storm that teaches you how strong your anchor is. When everything feels like it's falling apart, that's when you must hold your focus tighter than ever. Because your breakthrough might be one more step ahead, but you'll never see it if you stop now. Let's take a real life example. Think of a student who fails an important exam. They feel defeated, embarrassed, and ready to give up. But instead of quitting, they decide to study harder, seek help, and focus more deeply than before. The next time, they pass with flying colors. The failure that once felt like the end became the foundation of their growth. That's what happens when you refuse to let setbacks steal your focus. You turn pain into power. In everyday life, we all face moments when it seems easier to give up than to keep going. Maybe you've tried to lose weight, but the progress is slow. Maybe you've applied for jobs and faced rejection after rejection. Maybe you've prayed, worked, and waited and still haven't seen the results. But hear this, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it never will. The universe often delays your blessing to test your patience, to strengthen your focus, and to prepare you for what's coming. Don't mistake delay for denial. When a farmer plants seeds, they don't dig them up the next day to check if they're growing. They water them, nurture them, and wait because they trust the process. You have to do the same with your dreams. Keep planting effort, keep watering with consistency, and trust that the harvest will come in its season. The results may not appear instantly, but every act of persistence is proof that growth is happening beneath the surface. Failure is not final unless you quit. Falling is not fatal unless you refuse to rise. Every time you stand back up, you gain more than you lost. You gain experience, clarity, humility, and strength. Those who rise after failure are unstoppable because they've already faced defeat and refused to surrender. They've already met disappointment and decided to keep believing anyway. That's real power. Think of an athlete who loses a big competition. For some, it's the end of their motivation. But for champions, it's fuel. They go back to training harder, studying their weaknesses, improving their focus. When they come back, they don't just win, they dominate.